how we integrate, we African Americans or we people from Africa integrate with African Americans in the United States. It's a bit different.
Yeah.
Because then we have that misconception that we are not wanted by them. And they too, on the concept that we feel that we are not wanted by them because they believe our forefathers sold them out as slaves. So they feel betrayed.
Yeah.
They feel like, okay, we are the offsprings of the forefathers as well. That sold them to slavery. They have come to the United States. They are prosperous. They have worked for the society. And now you're coming as beneficiaries of all the work they did. But I think it's just based on our cultural differences and based on us providing more information and enlightening them on understanding that those were things that happened when we're in the dark ages, because we think about slavery, it's not something that should have existed at all.
Yeah.
The black man was manipulated into selling their own brothers.
Yeah.
So it's not something.
Yeah, that's true.
And we should have a healing process. And we can only heal if we're able to communicate with each another, trying to provide more information to the fellow black brother. And it's like, this is what we went through and this is how we can improve it. This brings me to one key aspect, right?
Yeah.
In Africa, mental health, I want to say, is normalized.
Yeah, you don't really hear the word.
You don't hear the
health.
health. Yes, it's normalized.
Yeah.
Now, in the United States, sometimes you're trying to build a network or relationship with somebody, maybe let's say an African American.
Yeah.
And the way the person reacts and the person starts telling you that it's because of my mental health, I can't relate with you. I think most of the Africans who work in this country, particularly in the healthcare sector, provide services to those group of persons. Yeah. And which you don't see that in Africa.
And why are Africans so concentrated on that sector though?
I don't think Africans are concentrated, but I think Africans are passionate with caregiving. They are very passionate with caregiving because they believe that it is more comfortable for them to take care of their own brothers and sisters. They do take care of the other Caucasians and the Hispanic people. But if you come to this community and you find that more of your people are having this issue, it is very normal for you to take care of them. So I applaud the Africans for that.
I mean, like even taking care of them. So if you're taking care of people and you show concern for them, why the disconnect?
That's the issue. Now the person has a disability, right? The person has a problem, right?
Yeah.
So it is hard to educate the person. But it's because you are a caregiver, you become passionate. Even if the person does not understand, you cannot be that bond. The bond you want to build is the bond of caring. You want to see the person to see you as a caregiver.
Yeah.
So sometimes you want to go provide information about why this happened to you. In my estimate, what's the situation?
No, I'm talking about like outside the caregiving. I'm talking about like the Black Americans who are not mentally ill or anything. Why the disconnect?
So I'm telling you that, okay, so where do you build a good relationship? And I said it must be at their jobs. Right?
So minus the job, you can still connect with people and some like things happen, you know?
You connect in the community?
Yeah, like there can be community gathering or something and you see someone and you have a conversation with a person.
Let me tell you something, right? That I've observed. There are certain areas in this country, or let's certain neighborhoods, which is considered African American neighborhoods, right? There are certain neighborhoods you say, oh, this neighborhood is more populated by the Hispanics. Yeah. This one is more populated by people from Africa, right? Yeah. So if you have those separations, so why would you not have a disconnect?
Yeah, true.
Because if we have a neighborhood where we have more African Americans, and just maybe 15 or 20 Africans in that neighborhood, how will that people build a network?
And then why are we not this thing going to live in those neighborhoods?
Why don't we go?
Yeah.
I think it's segregation by the people themselves. You think the government likes this? I don't think the government likes it, but the government is doing that on purpose.
So you think the government has a role in someone's decision making when it comes to like purchasing a home?
I believe not actually purchasing a home, even granting you tenancy. You don't. It's not who has those properties. It's owned by the business owners, right? Investors, right? But they make certain decisions. If they don't want you in the property, they don't want you. That's why you go through you may have a community where the people don't qualify for certain activities, but the government provides them. Have you ever heard of Section 8 housing? Have you ever heard of refugee homes? There are certain communities which are for people with low income earners, right?
Yeah.
So if those people qualify because they don't work, and you work, so do you qualify to live there?
No, I don't.
So the government was involved in separating the two of you.
Oh no. What I'm trying to say is this: like, there's some neighborhoods where Africans go buy homes.
Yes.
And there's some neighborhoods where Black Americans go buy home. Why don't we buy home in the place where Black Americans buy home, or vice versa?
Do you have an example of those ones?
Like, if you go, for example, in the Bowie area, like Upper Marlboro, you see there's some neighborhoods where they're mostly Africans.
Yes.
And then you come
trust me, you will see African Americans there too.
And then why are we not building that connection? Hello, welcome to another episode of the Benrolins Blueprint Podcast. I'm your host, Benrolins Awandem. Today's going to be a great episode. I have an honorable guy in the building. He has a lot to tell you about, and you're going to learn a lot from this amazing guy. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me. Welcome the one and only Alexis Kwadi. How you doing, man?
I'm okay. Thank you for welcoming to the Benrolins show.
I really appreciate you for coming to the show. Thank you very much.
It's my honor.
Thank you very much for coming, though. And I was just going to go straight right into it. You're Cameroonian, as I am, came to America, and we always have this conception about America. How was the reality on ground when you got here?
Well, there is that belief that America is the dreamland. It is a dreamland.
Yeah.
But the information which we get in Africa is a bit different. When you transition from Africa to America, you are facing two different worlds.
Yeah.
Because first of all, there is this misinformation which is provided by those who live in the United States when they come to Cameroon, or particularly from where I come from, the information they give.
Yeah.
They give you a picture of a glorious world. Then when you come to the United States, you see something different. You know, but it's always very entertaining because you want to give the people the budget for them to come see exactly what is going on. Because if you tell them the reality, they might not believe it's true. So I think that they also came ahead and pictured or gave the picture that America was this sort of a heaven where you could get and clean the streets, you just make money, you can do certain jobs, you can work in the mortuary, you can make money. Yeah. But that's not the reality. And that misconception has led of many people in Africa think that you can just come to the United States or go to any Western world and then you start making money as easily as possible. Yeah. And then when you start having family demands from Africa, like they know you're making the money because that's the misconception they already have. That when you go, you start making the money. And then it's like, you're not doing it. So, oh, this person has been there for 20 years. What about you?
Yeah, nothing to show for.
Nothing is showing for. Yeah. Then somebody comes after maybe 1 year or two, the person has maybe stroke of luck or something, the person is sending money to Africa. Say, oh, you see, this is not making any money.
Yeah, he just came yesterday and he's already sending money.
That's the problem. Yeah. That's the problem. It's all about misinformation, especially from, I think, those who were here a long time ago. They picture information. They don't give you like they are struggling in America. When they go down Africa, the way they splash money sometimes, it makes you feel like they don't work hard. They just pick this money, you know, because the glorious way, right? Yeah. Yeah, that's the misinformation we have.
And then take some pictures and put on social media. Oh, when you see that, you see the big cars, you're like, damn. Yeah. Man, I want to have that big car too.
You start dreaming. Yeah.
But you don't know that I can't know too.
Well, it is true. It is really true. You can't know it's car note. Because in Africa, nobody believes that you can just go to a car dealership and then you say, give me this car, I'm going to be paying gradually because it's going to be cash and carry in Africa. We don't know about car notes.
No credit.
We don't have a credit system in the first place. Yeah. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's crazy though. And you know, sometimes people just see that picture and they just believe that, oh, when you come to America, you're just gonna have your car a few months after.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
but you have to buy it.
Yes,
if
you have to
if
buy
you can't buy it, then you have to have a good credit to go for it. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
it takes a while to build those credit. Yeah,
Because if you don't have a good credit, it's just going to be, you can't really get anything in this country.
the country is built on a credit system.
Yeah.
And the credit system is linked to every activity that you do. Because if you have a good credit, you're going to have a lower rate of insurance. If you have a good credit, there are so many factors you're going to have. So many things going to cut across. Because sometimes even going to rent an apartment, your credit is being looked upon.
Yeah, they're
So
going
you
to check
see,
it out.
the credit system, they want to see how credible you are. And they start by providing you their own credit, you know?
Yeah.
So they give you some money and see how you manage their money.
Yeah, that's true.
So they want to see that you're able to manage their money. And then if you're managing the money and you're in the range within 20 to 30% of that money and being able to pay back that money on time, then they'll see that you'll be able to manage credit.
Yeah.
But if you're able to blow up the money they give to you, and then you become in debt again, you start struggling, they give you another credit, they say, oh, you can't manage credit.
Yeah, you just keep blowing the money up.
Yeah, you blow up the money,
Yeah, that's messed up. And before you know it, your credit is like 400.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's so messed up. Wow.
Everybody has a credit, but they have a strata. Which one is the good credit? Which one's the fair credit? Which one's the excellent credit? We all have credit,
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
Yeah, so they know you have credit, quite all right. But are you credible enough? So based on the level of credit divided, whether you are good, bad, fair, excellent. So
Yeah, man.
everybody has credit.
Yeah, that's true. So when you came to America, the first thing that someone told you, I know when you come to America, people always try to advise you, give you some small mentorship, tell you like, hey, I've been in this country for a long time. Yes, how you move, this is where you start. How was that experience?
That's because so you can come to America and start working tomorrow. For some, you are lucky. If you have a family member who has a company and maybe gives you a job under the table.
Yeah.
But generally, you have to wait for the process. Yes, because you really have to get the documents necessary for you to be employed to get the job. Because what happens is that in every company, there is this process of verification. They want to verify that you're actually eligible to work. And if you are not eligible to work, then you cannot be hired unless by the stroke of luck you have somebody who offers you a job and decides to pay you under the table. But what happens actually is that one of the most common jobs that I realize is very accessible is the job of a nanny. But you know, the men are not lucky. They cannot be nanny in America. But it's because they have never given the men the opportunity to become nanny. It is generally believed in Africa that the lady or the woman takes good care of the child than the man. Ironically, it's not the same in America. Because if you look in America, what I observe is that I have seen so many good fathers. Not saying that the women are bad, but you see there are some situations where the man is the one taking care of the baby, or you find custodianship is granted to the man instead of the woman, as opposed to Cameroon, where I come from.
Yeah.
So in the United States, you see sometimes the man is the one with the baby in the house and the woman is the one working. So it's so difficult. You don't see that. In Africa, you expect the man to work and expect the woman to take care of the baby.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
all that.
So you really think a man is going to be a better nanny than a woman?
Where in America, I want to believe so. I want to believe so. Yeah.
I mean, like, when it comes to soft skill, I believe a lady is on top.
It is, the women have the natural spirit of nurturing.
Yeah.
It's for motherhood. It's just intrinsic in them. It's just in them. It's not something we can take out from them unless it's a very bad lady or very bad woman. Generally, all women are there to care.
Yeah.
They know how to care than the men. But I'm just saying that based on the societal values we see, because even if you see in the United States where there is custody issues where the mother and the father have to fight over the child or something, you see sometimes there's some restrictions on what the man or access the man can do on the child. Yeah, they try to give some privileges to the lady because they know she's more nurturing than the man. I'm not saying that the men are not nurturing as well. But when it comes to that motherly instinct that the child has with the mother, it's different.
Yeah, that's true. And that connection is on another level.
Sure.
Yeah, man.
Like I said, so navigating America, if you're coming from Cameroon and you're a man, don't think about being a nanny.
Nanny, yeah.
Unless you start you go take nanny classes there. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because even it's a male child, young male child, it will still be given to the lady.
Yeah, that's true. Because it's just that perception about lady being in a natural is always something that gives them more more value than a guy when it comes to that profession though.
That's the more reason we have more grandmas from Africa. When they come, even if they can't speak any language, they are nannies.
Yeah, they would be like,
they'll provide nannies in the house and where they live, right?
Yeah, that's true. And you see they have like a lot of kids to take care of. Yeah, that's true, man.
Yeah, he also keeps the grandma music.
Because when they come here, they're just like, I don't want to be in this country. I'm just sitting home all the time.
Oh, grandma, yes. They never want to be in this country. First of all, they start finding language as a problem. The society is too big for them to navigate the environment.
Yeah,
they don't like when you get up in Africa. You can go to your next door neighbor and say hello to them, just to find how they fared or how they are faring or how they slept last night.
Yeah,
you're in America, you don't know who your next neighbor is. Yes,
everyone is just the hustle.
Yes,
just walking.
Sometimes your neighbor is a hustler. Sometimes your neighbor is an aggressive person. You don't know.
Yeah,
but that brings me to the point where I'm going to look at how we integrate, we African Americans or we people from Africa integrate with African Americans in the United States. It's a bit different.
Yeah,
because we have that misconception that we are not wanted by them. And they too, on the concept that we feel that we are not wanted by them because they believe our forefathers sold them out as slaves. So they feel betrayed.
Yeah,
they feel like, okay, we are the offsprings of the forefathers as well. That sold them to slavery. They have come to the United States. They are prosperous. They have worked for the society, and now you're coming as beneficiaries of all the work they did. But I think it's just based on our cultural differences and based on us providing more information and enlightening them on understanding that those were things that happened when we're in the dark ages, because we think about slavery, it's not something that should have existed at all.
Yeah,
the black man was manipulated into selling their own brothers.
Yeah.
So it's not something.
Yeah, that's true.
And we should have a healing process, and we can only heal if we're able to communicate with each another, trying to provide more information to the fellow black brother. And it's like, this is what we went through, and this is how we can improve it. Because sometimes when you have people, I cannot deal with African American man. He's very hostile. I can.
And that's why I see it's really tough to see an African lady or an African man get married to an African American. It's rare.
It's rare.
Yeah,
it does happen. Yes, because they are scared. They're scared. First of all, the issue is like he's gonna see a lot of words in what they call their language rap or something that you don't understand. And most often their words is filled with curses. So
I was not accustomed to curse.
Yes. But if you understand really, right, they will tell you that some of the keywords or what some of the curses they use is a verb, it's a pronoun, it's a noun, like the word motherfucker, right?
Yeah,
they will tell you that, and it's right. It's not necessarily meaning that they're cursing you. To them, it could be a curse.
Yeah, it
could be a description. It could be an adjective.
Yeah,
you see. So they have a lot of things. That one word alone. Yeah, so those are the issues we have.
Yeah, so in your opinion, what can we do to bridge that gap between like the African Americans and Africans?
I think first of all, I want to appreciate, I saw on TV and on other programs on YouTube where countries like Ghana was providing opportunities for African Americans to visit the country to learn about Ghana and to obtain potential citizenships in that country.
Yeah,
I think it's an opportunity for us, like African nations, to follow that path. Because I think the more they visit Africa, the more they will to understand exactly what Africa is all about.
Yeah.
Because if you meet an African American in this country and sometimes you ask the question, do you know about Africa? They think Africa is just one country. Yeah. And then sometimes they are aware of Africa having several countries. But if you ask them to list the countries in Africa, they can give.
Yes,
Yeah,
they can't give you.
they can't give you any name. So they believe that every black man is either from Jamaica area. I mean,
The Caribbean?
If your accent is because the Caribbeans have their own accent too, which is different from African people. Yeah, so they know. Oh, you are probably different. But I'm thinking that the way forward is like the African countries to provide the opportunity for us to network through business forums as well as through providing, citizenship to African Americans in this country who wants to visit those countries.
And then how about the Africans in this country?
Oh,
how do they bridge the gap?
Oh yeah, we don't truly.
Yeah,
that gap really exists. First of all, if you see an African American party, if you go to the party, let's say there were 500 African Americans in that party, it will be hard to find a person from Africa up to 5 or 10 in that party who are from Africa. So we don't party with them. They don't party with us unless those who, like a friend, it could be a co-worker who is trying to learn the culture that you bring involved in that community. Which gives us that gap.
But do you think one side is kind of reserved?
Both sides.
Both sides are reserved.
Yes, both sides. There is that fear because let's say I talk to a lady, or let's say I talk to a mom that I'm bringing my African American woman to the house. There's that concept that she'll be like, "Are you crazy?
Are you okay?"
Yes, Yeah, it's like, how would she know about Africa or the African culture if I'm not involved with her? If I don't actually get to bring her close to me, get to see my own parents,
Yeah, that's true. That's actually true. The moment you say that you're getting married to an African American, hey, they're going to start talking.
Well, some might discourage you, but I'm going to let you. Most of them would discourage you.
Yeah, most would discourage.
Yeah. Same thing. So the African American lady too. We are focused on family. The African Americans, they are focused on family, but the family is about the person and his immediate family. Yeah. So, and that's why many of the parents, they don't worry about extended families. But in Africa, that's one thing we worry about.
Yeah.
So, because a cousin to you will consider as a family.
Yeah.
So if something happens to your cousin, it's going to affect you. But you see, most of them have that divided family in America. That's one thing we have. Yeah, I see in the community with them.
Yeah, that's true. I know sometimes like they don't really have the father figures in their life.
Sure.
And it's tough. Yeah, it's really tough to navigate that environment.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel bad for them in a certain way too. And sometimes some African guys are going to say, Black American ladies are not feminine enough.
Oh yeah,
yeah, because some of them are going to kind of masculine.
No, well,
yeah,
we have, even in Africa, we do have ladies who want to have masculine activities or masculine portraits that they want to exhibit those things, but they are still women. It's just that those women, when you start saying this, she's not feminine enough because she doesn't bring the feminine energy that is expected of a woman.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that she's not a woman. She's still a woman.
Yeah, she's still a woman, but an African man wants something different.
Of course.
Yeah.
The African man expects that the lady is going to be gentle. She's going to be very receptive.
Yeah.
She's going to be welcoming. She's going to provide an environment that feels at home. So those are the common things that the African man will be looking at in a lady.
Yeah.
I think that the African American women are actually embracing that because they are seeing that they can actually be a good relationship with the men from Africa. But one issue that the African American man makes the African man scared is because you can't tell if that lady is faithful to you or she has a relationship with that guy. Because the next thing, over a little misunderstanding, the African American man will probably want you finished, disappearing.
Yeah.
That means killing you. Yeah.
They go to another extent.
They go to another extent.
Ooh,
yeah. That's why
in
over little disagreement, they are quick to anger. That's the issue.
And I think that's one of the reasons why Africans try to pull back.
Yeah.
Because they don't want
over little disagreements.
Yeah. And when you want to look at it in a nutshell, you're going to realize that there's some good people and there's some bad people.
Oh, there are so many good African American
but we
people.
focus more on the bad ones.
Because there was this issue. How do you meet the good African American people?
How do you meet them?
Yes.
I mean, like probably work or something.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. So you're going to find out you meet the good ones are the ones who are able to work and keep their jobs. But if you look at it, you see many African Americans, especially in the DC neighborhood area or DMV area, most of them don't keep the jobs.
Yeah.
So they tend to lose the jobs and then some tend to be on the streets, on one corner of the street, either smoking or using drugs. So tell me, if majority of them are in the streets, will you network with them?
Nah.
Will you consider them to good people? You become scared for your life.
Yes, you're
That's the issue.
Scared,
Yeah. So if your only African Americans you will network are going to be the ones at the jobs you meet, because you are afraid of the unknown. You don't know exactly, unless you're introduced by another co-worker or a female or male African American to somebody else and say, okay, look, I know this person is a good person. We can relate together.
Yeah.
But you can't just meet an African American on the street. There's that this conception.
Yeah.
Because the person is on the street,
Yeah.
it could be a bad dude.
Yes, it's dangerous, actually. It's dangerous because you never know what you're going to get.
Sure.
Anything can happen anytime. And you ask yourself, why did I get myself into this place? Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but at the end of the day, communication is a key, though. Yeah, communication is a key. Even on your job site, don't try to be reserved. Like, how can you kind of know each other better to kind of understand and educate your parents too?
Well,
that's another thing.
I really think that it's the key. But this brings me to one key aspect, right?
Yeah.
In Africa, mental health, I want to say, is normalized.
Yeah, you don't really hear the word.
You don't hear the
mental
health. Yes, it's normalized.
Yeah.
Now, in the United States, sometimes you're trying to build a network or relationship with somebody, maybe let's say an African American.
Yeah.
And the way the person reacts and the person starts telling you that it's because of my mental health, I can't relate with you. You understand?
Yeah.
So we understand people wouldn't have mental health disorder need support. And if the person cannot relate with you, automatically you start getting scared because you can. Even if you ask the person a common question, the person feels upset. Like, why are you talking to me?
Yeah.
You know, it's normal for me to see somebody on the road and say, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or how are you doing today? Yeah. In Africa, I don't think you were to say that to somebody, the person will feel upset.
Oh no, the person will greet you too or something.
Yeah. But you see, in the United States, some would do it.
Yeah.
But others were like, why are you talking to me? Why are you looking at me?
Yeah, they consider you weird.
They feel you weird. Yeah. Like, then before you discover, say, oh, the person has a mental health disorder. So that's an issue.
Yeah.
And the truth about it, the support we get in Africa for mental health, though it is not support from the government, it is more support from the family.
Yeah.
Because the family is always there around you to listen to you, to encourage you, and to advise you on what you should do.
Yeah, that's
now,
true.
When I came to the United States, I did a couple of jobs. And then I became involved in providing services to persons who have developmental and intellectual disabilities. Now, these are persons who have been diagnosed by a clinician. And these persons, over time, have not been able to perform certain basic life activities. And when they grew up, there is this belief, or there was this diagnosis that the person's body was growing, but the person's intellect wasn't evolving. Like a little baby, for example, when the child is about 2 years, the child understands that I can do this, and if I get to this place, wherever my mom says pick it up, I can pick it up. Or if a child plays with the toy at the age of 5, mom says go pack your toys. Or after playing with the toys, the child has to pack the toys away. Or maybe places are cold, you know, and the child is growing. The child knows that if I pick up this and put it on, I'm going to be warm. So we see that, right?
Yeah.
So these persons cannot do those activities. They cannot do it. So they grow up, and at a certain age, once they have been diagnosed, they are now provided to different persons to take care of them because it's overwhelming for the family, as opposed to Africa, because most of those persons in Africa are actually in the care of the family members.
Yeah, that's true.
So if that child could not do that in Africa, there is no other person that will provide that support except family members or friends of that family. But in America, you actually see it as paid support, where the government comes in, tries to take that child, and then find institutions to provide services to support that person or the elderly. So when they provide this support, that's where I worked in that sector before. It was there I discovered that some of these persons were being supported for them to have a better quality of life and to live a happier life.
Yeah.
And while providing this, some of them had, coupled to these disabilities, these developmental disabilities, they had mental health challenges or behavioral challenges. And they were being controlled or being managed by the use of medication. It was then I became involved, like, wow. So these persons or this group of persons have been deprived of the privilege of life because they now have a developmental disability, and beside that, they can exist or they exhibit certain behaviors which is not considered to be normal. You don't expect somebody who is normal to just get up and yell, get up and punch things or punch or destroy property. Because it's going to be funny, right? It's not becoming fun. Then you say, oh, the person has been managed with medications. And then you start getting, oh, the person has some mental health disorder. So back in Africa, mental health is considered to be normalized. That's why there's a stigma in Africa, in my country particularly, that they will say you maybe probably bewitched if you exhibit certain behaviors. So all those issues now propelled me to find interest in the mental health sector. So I did that by becoming a community support worker, where I worked for a couple of mental health agencies. I wanted to actually be involved in the community to see exactly what these persons were living on a day-to-day basis in the community. And with that, I was able to understand that there were so many different mental health disorder these persons were going. Despite those who were in homes, we also had persons who did not have these disabilities, but had these mental health problems. And they were being managed with medication. Some are managed with therapy. Some are just managed with mere education on how to live life with the disorder.
So can someone get out of that though?
Well, it is believed that mental health is treatable, right? Treatment doesn't mean, treatment is both medication and therapy, right? And sometimes it's not just it's not even medication, it's just education. Yeah.
But
you can live with it, but I don't know if you can say it is completely eradicated.
So is there any part of it that is self-inflicted wound?
Yes. So they have self-injurious behaviors. Yes. Where the person probably injures him or herself. Those ones are actually people with behavioral disability or behavioral challenges. Yeah. These persons actually, most of them, you find them in group homes. Yeah.
Yes.
And
go ahead.
You find, when you see this person, sometimes for no reason, the person hurts his or himself.
That's crazy.
Some of them will tell you there's a voice that tells them to kill themselves. It's a mental health disorder.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how did they get to that point though? I'm trying to understand. Were they born like that, or they grew up and something happened that led them to start behaving like that? Or like, how does it actually work?
The common causes, or it is believed that there are some factors which can cause those developmental disabilities. Some of them is the environmental changes. Some of them is defects from the time the mother was pregnant, or defects when the child was being born. Some of them is the use of chemical substances while the woman was pregnant with the baby.
Yeah.
Some of them is genetical. So there are so many causes to these developmental disabilities. And also it may surprise you that there's also one key issue. It says it's an unknown issue. So sometimes it can happen without all those ones being listed. So it can just occur.
And it's unknown. And you don't really know what's going on.
Nobody knows,
Yeah. Wow. And do you think that's one of the difference between Africans and African Americans?
Why? Yes, because I think most of the Africans who work in this country, particularly in the healthcare sector, provide services to those group of persons. Yeah. And which you don't see that in Africa.
And why are Africans so concentrated on that sector though?
I don't think Africans are concentrated, but I think Africans are passionate with caregiving. They are very passionate with caregiving because they believe that it is more comfortable for them to take care of their own brothers and sisters. They do take care of the other Caucasians and the Hispanic people. But if you come to this community and you find that more of your people are having this issue, it is very normal for you to take care of them. So I applaud the Africans for that.
I mean, like even taking care of them. So if you're taking care of people and you show concern for them, why the disconnect?
That's the issue. Now the person has a disability, right? The person has a problem, right?
Yeah.
So it is hard to educate the person. But it's because you are a caregiver, you become passionate. Even if the person does not understand, you cannot be that bond. The bond you want to build is the bond of caring. You want to see the person to see you as a caregiver.
Yeah.
So sometimes you want to go provide information about why this happened to you. You might estimate what's the situation.
No, I'm talking about like outside the caregiving. I'm talking about like the Black Americans who are not mentally ill or anything. Why the disconnect?
So I'm telling you that, okay, so where do you build a good relationship? And I said it must be at their jobs, right?
So minus the job, you can still connect with people and some like things happen, you know?
You connect in the community?
Yeah, like there can be community gathering or something and you see someone and you have a conversation with the person.
Let me tell you something, right? That I've observed. There are certain areas in this country, or let's certain neighborhoods, which is considered African American neighborhoods, right? There are certain neighborhoods you say, oh, this neighborhood is more populated by the Hispanics. Yeah. This one is more populated by people from Africa, right? Yeah. So if you have those separations, so why would you not have a disconnect?
Yeah, true.
Because if we have a neighborhood where we have more African Americans, and just maybe 15 or 20 Africans in that neighborhood, how will that people build a network?
And then why are we not this thing going to live in those neighborhoods?
Why don't we go?
Yeah.
I think it's segregation by the people themselves. You think the government likes this? I don't think the government likes it, but the government is doing that on purpose.
So you think the government has a role in someone's decision making when it comes to like purchasing a home?
I believe not actually purchasing a home, even granting you tenancy. You don't. It's not who has those properties. It's owned by the business owners, right? Investors, right? But they make certain decisions. If they don't want you in the property, they don't want you. That's why you go through the. You may have a community where the people don't qualify for certain activities, but the government provides them. Have you ever heard of Section 8 housing? Have you ever heard of refugee homes? There are certain communities which are for people with low income earners, right? Yeah. So if those people qualify because they don't work, and you work, so do you qualify to live there?
No, I don't.
So the government was involved in separating the two of you.
Oh no. What I'm trying to say is this: like, there's some neighborhoods where Africans go buy homes. Yes. And there's some neighborhoods where Black Americans go buy home. Why don't we buy home in the place where Black Americans buy a home, or vice versa?
Do you have an example of those ones?
Like if you go, for example, in the Bowie area, like Upper Marlboro, you see there's some neighborhoods where they're mostly Africans. Yes. And then you come
trust me, you will see African Americans there too.
And then why are we not building that connection?
Okay. In those communities, right? Now, those communities are separated by single family homes. Right? And like I said, it's hard for you to get up in the morning and go to your neighbor's house to say good morning to your neighbor. Yeah. Or sometimes you can live in the community for so many years and you don't even have your neighbor's number. Or maybe the neighbor even gives you an attitude. There are some people who are facing in this country just buying houses in just a neighborhood that they were not wanted. Nobody talks to them in the neighborhood. And sometimes if the person has an occasion in that environment or an event, you find them calling the police on that person.
Yeah, noise.
Because they don't want that person in that neighborhood. Yes, it does.
Yeah, it makes sense. So you just kind of feel like I want to go where I'm going to be comfortable.
Comfortable, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it kind of makes sense.
You don't want your children going to school, and then the neighbor's own children going to school, and then the boss they can't communicate. They are all neighbors.
Yeah,
you don't want that.
Yeah, that's a big disconnect. And when they came here, we always hear stories about Black Americans, or they have this name. I don't want to say this on camera, but now the Black Americans know how to call them.
I'm surprised you say they have this name. They are aware of it.
Yes, they know the name,
so
because
why not?
One Black American told me, like, I heard, do you guys call us a kata? I was like, whoa.
I was asking, what do you mean by that? Yes, I asked, what do you mean by that? So I told him, you tell me exactly.
Yeah, because
he said you are saying that I'm African American.
Yeah.
Oh, really? I said, what do you mean? You are saying that I'm African American.
Yeah, because they know the name. And one was asking me, like, yeah, you guys call us a kata, and we know that. And I was like, how do you know? It's like someone told me. So they know, like this, you see how we already have a name for them. Like, hey, this is how we call them, a kata and stuff like that. But anyways, what I'm trying to get at is, when I came here, you always have this conception about, most of the times more Africans think about the people on the street, and then they generalize to the broader Black American community. But I believe, like, some of the amazing people I've met, Black Americans, they are like, at work, they're really well mannered and they respectful.
Oh, sure.
Thoughtful and very hardworking too.
Sure.
But when you have that conception, you see them, you're like, oh, is this true? Is this false? But until you get to know somebody, you cannot just read the book by its cover.
I know.
Yeah.
But it's funny too. Because you can find that person at the job. Maybe he got 2 jobs, he got 5 cars.
Yeah.
He's well-mannered.
Yeah.
But you know what?
What?
His brother is on the street.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
His brother is in the street and he has no concern for the brother. Even if the brother has a problem or the brother is having a challenge, he doesn't care.
Yeah.
That's that issue. That's different from Africa.
Yeah,
I'm not saying Africans should take all the problems of their brothers or whatever to help them. But that concept is like,
yeah, it's
I'm
different.
supposed to take care of my own self.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's kind of self.
Yes. Yeah. He's a self-made man right now, so he cares for himself.
Oh, no, but I think there's some families who...
They are.
Yeah, really take care of one another.
That's what I'm saying. And that's why I said it comes back to the family issue, where we try to encourage them to build that, knowing that even your cousin is your brother.
Yeah.
Right? Or your sister.
Yeah, building that is actually important,
Yes.
And sometimes...
Because if you have that disconnect with their own line of blood, then what more of you?
So my question to you is this, like, let's assume you're a Black American male, you're successful, but your brother is on the street and he chose to be on the street. What are you going to do? Okay,
when he's on the street and he chooses to be on the street, the first issue was that I'm talking about situations where the persons did not provide help for their brothers. Yeah. If he chooses to, that's his choice. If he chooses to be on the street, do you know that many of them who did not provide help for their brothers, and those in the streets will say, I have a brother, but I cannot go to him. I work in that sector, so I see them. I say, I have a brother, I can't go to him. You see what we have our family beef. We have never been talking for this number of years. You see?
Yeah.
So he's dying. He needs help. He has a family member who is able to support him, even to provide a place for him to sleep. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he cannot go see him
you
because
cannot.
he knows.
But the brother will not also accept. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting, actually. To have a brother and you cannot really talk to him because you guys have a beef and you're going through stuff.
Same thing. You have some parents with their kids on the street. Their kids can't stay with them. Not that the kids don't want to stay with them.
But they chose to be on the street. Though.
No,
I think
there are
some of them
who don't want to be on the street. There are some who grew up in the streets. It's let me try to provide light on this, right? In the United States, there's so many foster homes, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you know about foster homes in Cameroon.
No,
but
really.
If a child was actually maybe abandoned by the parents,
Yeah.
most often in Cameroon, the social service takes care of that child and provides
like an orphanage.
let's say orphanage. Let's call it orphanage.
Yeah.
Yeah. But in America, they call them foster homes.
Yeah.
It's not really like an orphan. They call it foster homes.
Yeah.
Which means that child is brought into another family. For example, let's say you're married today and you and your wife decide to bring another child into your family.
Yeah.
From a different parent. So what happens is that the parents were not able to take care of the child, or the child was abandoned, or certain issues happened to the child. Or maybe the parents passed away or whatever. The government sometimes have to hand these children.
You're talking about child adoption?
Not adoption. It's not child adoption. The foster, you become the foster parent of the child. It doesn't mean you adopted the child. But technically it seems like that. Because you'll be able to provide all legal documents or guardianship for that child. If anything involved in the child, in the school, whatever, you'll be the one to represent the child. Yeah. You didn't actually go through the adoption process, right? But the child is placed in your care by the government.
Wow.
So the social service places the child in your care. So sometimes they'll provide now the support for that child through you. You're the parent, technically.
And you take care of everything.
Everything, yeah.
Yeah.
The health of the child, the welfare of the child, the education of the child. Yeah.
Yeah.
So just imagine that you are in a house providing care to like 3 of those children. None of them is yours. And then they grew up. By the time they turn 18, they have to leave. They have to be on their own. Right?
Yeah.
So, and they did not build that bond because they're coming from different families. Different parents. They don't know each other. But they just grew up.
Yeah.
And they know that they are not from the same mother and father. And after a while, they're in the community. Some of them don't want to take advantage of the system. That's why I feel like I don't know my mother. I don't know my father.
But I feel, that's my personal opinion, I feel like it boils down to the guardian, the person who is responsible for those kids at the present moment, to build that bond and unity. Well,
it's also boiled down on the education system too. Because when they go to school, they are made to understand that they are not from one parent. It's not just she provides shelter for them. She provides the necessary basics which is provided to her by the government for the well-being of the child.
Yeah.
But she can make the child to love you.
Yeah, you cannot make the child to love you.
Yeah, because the child already knows that you are not his blood. At his age, the child knows that he was placed in the foster home. There are some that when they get to an age, they tell them that we are not your biological parents. We are brought to us by this system.
But does anyone force you to do that?
Nobody forced you. I'm saying that the child was brought in. So let's say, for example, both parents died, and now the child has no other immediate family members. What happens with that child upbringing? Where do you think the government keeps that child?
Probably, I thought they have like a place where they employ people to.
Have you ever seen an orphanage in America?
No.
Google anyone and tell me where you know one.
No.
So they go to foster homes.
Wow. So
they go to foster homes.
So what I'm trying to get at is the foster homes are people opting in to take care of those kids.
Some people opt to, yes.
And some people don't?
No. Yes. No. You have to opt to become a foster parent. Yes.
And what are some of the benefits of becoming a foster parent, though?
Well, I have not read one, so I wouldn't know exactly what are some of the benefits.
No, what I was trying to get at is, does the government pay you to take care of the kids, or you just doing that on your own?
No. Well, I want to believe that to some it's a job.
Or a job.
So to some it's a job. I don't know exactly. Yeah. I'm not really versed with what the benefits becoming a foster parent. But that's one thing. Yeah.
But so you think
there are some that don't have children. They want to use that as their own children. So,
but you think the outcome does not determine how they were raised?
Yes.
Yeah, I believe to a certain extent, yes, but sometimes it does.
It is possible. There could be a link with it. But if you look, most of them that I have seen in the mental health sector, some of them are from the foster homes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if the system or the homes brought them those mental health issues. I don't know.
Yeah, you were talking about
Because some of them were just like, I don't know who my father or my mother is. I don't have any family member because they were placed in a home. They know nobody other than the foster parents, and they moved out after a while, after turning 18 or something. Yeah. They know nobody. They're just in the way by themselves.
And sometimes it's mentally draining as a kid. I've not been in that situation, but by observing, you can tell that sometimes those kids growing up, they kind of feel sad, why would my own parent do this to me?
Sure.
Why would they abandon me and stuff like that? So it builds that anger sometimes.
You start thinking good.
Yeah.
Start getting that worry, like, what happened to me? Was I not loved?
Yeah.
Why did they bring me into this world?
Just to put me up
on
the street or something. Yeah. It's tough. And sometimes when you see someone doing something, we are quick to judge. But lay back and understand a person's story. I'm not saying doing something wrong is good, but when you, as a human being, we make mistakes. So kind of understand where the person is coming from and some of the things that the person has been through before you say anything.
And then sometimes before you discover that, because of all those thoughts, like, what am I going to do? They get involved in crimes.
Yeah. And start being on the streets.
Yeah, start being on the streets.
Yeah. I brought
because they have no family members. So those in the streets are their brothers and sisters, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I brought a couple to the show and they were explaining to me, they're like, they do not have a father figure. And on the streets, they treat you like the brotherhood is strong. And when you get there, they're going to tell you like, oh, you can do this. You're so amazing, blah, blah, blah. And then they give you drugs like weed or something to go sell.
That's what I'm saying.
You
sell, you start making
like,
money.
Oh, so, bro, you got this. You got this. You can do more. They load you with more. And then you start looking out for one another.
It might interest you to know that I used to support one lady like that. Why I was working as a community support worker. So what happened is that as early as, let's say, 6:37, she goes to a park. She stays in the park. Then I kept asking her each time I come to the park, why do you come there so often, early? And why are you there almost every day? Then she said she identifies herself with people like this. So those people are the people she can relate with. So that's why she's very, very conscious that every day, as early as 6:37, she has to go to the location. And she can spend a whole day. Sometimes she can go out and come back, but she has to be there.
Wow. Does she talk to people or like?
She talks to other people too. Yeah, right. Because at the park, when you come to the park, you find some of them. Most of them, I won't say they are like her, but she says she identifies herself because the people have those disorders as well. Some of them use drugs at the park,
Yeah.
But she was able to tell me that she's here because these are the people she associates and she understands. They understand her and she understands them. She right?
Yeah. And sometimes, like, no matter
it's like you take her from that community, you're going to kill her. Yeah, because you have deprived her of the people she can relate with.
And even if you take her off, she's going to find a way to
come back. Yep.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. I mean, mental health is a big topic in America.
It is.
Yeah. I like my whole life in Africa, I'm not sure I ever heard the word mental health until I got here. The moment I got here, I was saying mental health.
Yeah.
And an African man is going to tell you that mental health does not exist.
It does.
And stuff like that.
It does.
Why do you say it does?
The African man thinks that it's witchcraft.
Like when you say mental health, people
see. Okay, have you ever heard of? I don't know, because in Africa, or particularly talk about Cameroon. I'm not a journalist about Africa. Today we don't talk about, or we don't have a lot of physicians or a lot of trained personnel who are involved in mental health. It's just growing. Mental health awareness is just growing in Cameroon in particular. It's just growing. And I'm thinking that there are so many bodies that are leaving the United States and other countries in the world to go to Africa. Most Cameroonians trying to educate Cameroonians that mental health is a real disorder. It's a real disease. It's existing. So try to take away that stigma from people from believing that they are being bewitched or something that's happening to them, actually, which is a mental health problem. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not going to the extreme though. I'm going to like the forefront when it comes to like someone say I'm depressed or I'm feeling anxiety and stuff like that. How do you feel about that one? Don't you consider it the mental health too?
Everybody goes through anxiety. Yeah. But now, what is it? If it is intense, it is persistent, okay?
Yeah.
Then it could be, and then for a prolonged time, then that's anxiety.
But do you think that's...
If somebody was to promise you something good, or somebody gives you something and you receive the gift and are you happy about it? Right?
Yeah.
If you're happy about it. Hello. Okay. If you receive the gift and you're happy about it,
yeah,
won't you be excited?
I'll be excited.
Is that anxiety?
I mean, I don't. So what I'm trying to drive at is this, right? So sometimes people get anxious or something, or something happened and they feel depressed. Do you think you can get out of that by yourself? You can do like self-accountability to get out of that moment, or you think someone got to help you get out of that moment?
Okay, now, what makes depression different from the one you're talking about is that if it is a prolonged feeling or mood over a long period of time, then you're depressed. But if it's something, because we have short-term depression as well.
Yeah,
you could be depressed for a moment. You could be depressed over something.
Yeah.
But if it's prolonged over a period of time, okay, changes in your mood, then you're depressed. Then you have to be managed by somebody. You have to talk to somebody. You have to carry certain activities. Not all depression is managed by medication. Some is just you taking certain activities to help relieve you from the symptoms.
So do you believe in the medication to cure depression?
No. It's not about I believe. It might help you relieve certain symptoms. I'm not saying that. I don't want to say I believe in medication to cure depression. Medication alone wouldn't cure depression.
Yeah, because I believe that self-accountability solve that.
If you take actions.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. If you take actions.
Because sometimes...
do you know that now just some of the symptoms of depression can make you not take actions?
Yeah, that's why you have to take a step at a time. Because when you're thinking about all the stuff, you get overwhelmed. You have to take one step at a time. You know, sometimes when people are depressed, it's all about taking an action. But now they don't know where to start.
They don't know.
That's the
Do
problem.
you know depression brings lack of motivation?
Yeah, it brings lack of motivation.
So where do you want the person to start?
But you have to decide that I want to get out of this state.
Okay.
I don't like it.
That's why you need encouragement from others as well.
Because the reason why I brought that up is because, like, people go for therapy. But back in Cameroon,
do you know depression brings feeling of guilt?
Yeah, I mean, like...
You see, all of those things now.
To an extent, everyone feel like guilt sometimes, to an extent. But, like, sometimes you have to know yourself, reflect on yourself.
Just the changes in mood can make you not even want to pursue certain actions.
Yeah.
You can make loss of appetite. Depression causes that. So, you see, all those issues, right? I'm not saying that you can't get out. But when it's a long term, you need help.
Yeah, a long term... Meaning you made it get to a long time.
Now you're talking about something that happened briefly and then you share it with somebody. Or you take a positive action to go through it.
Because
there are some persons who, just because they lost someone, they continue to grieve for a long time. And they cannot get out of that situation. How do you think they're going to get out? By making decisions, I want to forget that person?
No, it's
that's
not,
someone they love.
It's not about taking a decision that I want to forget that person. I personally believe that you can take a decision that I want to know myself better. I want to love myself. I know I lost this person and it's hard for me to overcome that situation. But what are some of the things I can do today that's going to help me get better tomorrow? It's not going to be instantly.
I'm not disputing the fact that there are people who can make those changes. What about those who can't make those changes?
They can seek help, you know.
Okay,
by seeking help.
That's where the help comes in.
But seeking help does not 100% means therapy is always the solution.
I'm not saying therapy is the solution. Communicating to someone else, you must not only talk to a therapist. You can talk to somebody. You can share, right?
Yeah.
You can share your worries to somebody, and somebody gives you a word or two that might change the way you feel about certain situations, right?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, that's good though. But therapy works for some people, but it doesn't work for everybody. That's just what I was just driving at.
Yeah, sure.
sometimes you have to step back and reflect. You know, a lot of people go through stuff and they're depressed or they're anxious about stuff, and they don't really take time to really know who they are, what are some of the things they like, what are some of the action they can take that are going to help them get better. And they just realize that, oh, I'm anxious, oh, I'm depressed, and what are some of the depression medication you take that, and you realize that you're not moving forward, but you keep getting the same feeling. And the question that you guys ask yourself is, are you contented with that? Do you like that feeling? And if you like it, kudos to you. You can stay there. But if you don't like it, what are some of the actions you can take to get out of it? Yeah, that's just what I was just driving at, though.
That's what I'm saying. If you are anxious, you are anxious. But if you have anxious and anxiety, now I was saying that once it's intense and you have that excessive intensity and it's persistent, and it can affect your daily activities.
Yeah.
Or it can affect the way you feel about things. Then you're having anxiety.
Yeah. And so, in your opinion,
the essence is that the keyword there is persistent.
Yeah. So, in your opinion, how do you get out of that? That's just what I want to know.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Some is managed through what? Communication. Some is managed through what? Therapy.
Yeah.
Some is managed through medication to help you relieve those symptoms.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just to sleep. But if you sleep too much, you just have a problem.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what I'm saying. So we're talking about persistent, means over a period of time.
Yeah.
You keep having that feeling.
So have you ever had that experience though?
Well, we all sometimes in our life get anxious, but I don't know if I've been persistent with that.
Really? How about depression?
Oh, I mean, depression is a mood, right?
Yeah.
And it's usually a change in your mood.
Yeah.
And the change in the mood is usually not a positive mood. You cannot be positively depressed.
It doesn't work.
Yes, right? It's a change in your mood. So, and I won't tell you that I'm not depressed.
Yeah.
There are times about certain actions I may have a plan and it doesn't go the way it is, and I'm let down.
Yeah.
I feel depressed. Right?
Yeah.
I don't have to dwell on how I feel about what let me down.
Yeah.
I have to be able to look for other ways, measures to go around to pursue the goal.
And get out of that state.
Yeah, it does.
Very important. I just want people watching to know that you can get out of it.
Yes.
Yeah. Don't stay there thinking, oh, I'm depressed now. That's the end of the world. No. There's some actions you can take that can help you get better. And coming back to the topic of Africans, normally it's not supposed to be Africans versus Black Americans, but sometimes it turned out to be that way, where we just like, oh, we love ourselves, we love our African ladies, we love our African culture. We don't want to learn about the Black American culture or learn about not only Black American culture, but other cultures as well. Because it's tough. We've been talking about Black Americans for a while now, but even if you go bring a Caucasian to your house, that I want to get married to this lady. That's not going to go down good. So yeah, it's not only Black Americans though. Like we have to, as a culture, embrace other cultures too, and know that we are united in our diversity. Yep. But it does not mean that you're going to accept everything, and you have to have underlying values in place. Like we Africans sometimes, not even sometimes, they've tried to legalize the homosexuality in Africa, and it has no work.
Man, I don't know if that's no work. Maybe in some African countries.
Yes, like most African countries. I think the only country in Africa should be South Africa.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it should be South Africa.
Maybe they have a system.
But other countries, no.
Oh.
But that's just the African values, though.
If you were to say that to an African, particularly from Cameroon, I think it would be taboo.
Yeah, it's a taboo.
Because they look at it like the biblical form, the biblical nature of a man and a woman.
Yeah. And
they don't respect a male and a female. Even with
a female and a female.
Even with the animals, we know it's going to be the male and the female.
Yeah.
So why would humans be male and male, female and female?
Yeah, I believe too in nature, honestly.
Yes, but there is this aspect which I draw from the inspiration of some of the clergies. You know, some of them say, if people want to live their life departing from what is normal in life or society or biblical,
Yeah.
Who are they to judge? Who are we to judge? So I'm not saying that being a gay or being a lesbian is right, but I'm not judging them.
Yeah, and you're not saying it's wrong either.
Yeah.
Who knows?
No, I'm not judging them. I'm not the judge. I leave that to God. But I pray for them if you think it's wrong, right?
Yeah, that's true though.
If you believe it's wrong, pray for them. So
yeah,
I hold it with that. So
yeah, that's true. And like in this day and age, like saying something too sensitive when it comes to that matter gets you in another, like people just try to condemn you, say things about you, even possibly say, oh, they should cancel this guy. But at the end of the day, everyone is entitled to their own opinion. There's a free society where everyone can say what they believe is right. And at the end of the day, if it's not hurting or harming someone, then that's fine.
Sure. Good.
Yeah, but if it's harming or inflicting pain on someone, that's different.
The issue. Good.
Yeah, that's different. But when you have your own opinion or a point of view, why not talk about it? Because you want to bring your own point of view and force it on me like, hey, you have to accept this. That's not right.
Oh man, let me just think. Let me just see. Oh, somebody was like, oh man, you found another male in this country and taking it back to your parents and say this is your guy or your wife. You have enough issues going on with you. Oh my goodness.
You take let's just say an African home, you take a guy, you're a guy, you take another guy that you're going home, you say this is your lovely wife or husband that you want to get married. First of all, your parents are going to think something is wrong or you're just joking or something.
They will believe you have a mental health problem.
Yeah.
Or you have been cursed.
They'll take it to your pastor for prayers. Yeah. So they can cast that devil out of you.
Yeah, you have been cursed. You're on a spell.
Yeah.
How'd it come?
Yes. Like, how managed?
Yeah.
And they'll start regretting why they came to this country.
Sure.
They're like, why did I come to this country? And I was thinking bringing you, is going to be an opportunity or a blessing to the family.
Yeah.
But now it's turning to something else. They will be crying and praying like, God, please, please. Not my own, no. Yeah, it's the way it is now. I mean, at the end of the day, everyone got a point of view. My point of view might not be the popular one, but that's it.
I mean, that means you are actually making a choice for your children or making choice for them. You know, that's the issue.
No, but at the end of the day, you have to mold your kids.
The truth about it is that at some point in time, like I said, I'm not judging any of them to pray.
Yeah, you can't judge anybody. You know, at the end of the day, we all make mistakes and we all do things that are not right. Yeah. So at some level, whether you lie or say something that you're not supposed to say, we all make mistakes. Yeah. So saying, oh, this person is a bad person because of that way, no. Because there's some people who would do that who are good people. You don't have to be mad at the person. You got to focus on the act. Remove the act from the person.
Good.
Yeah.
It's like if somebody hurts you, you're not worried about the person. You're worried about the act the person committed.
Yeah. I'm talking about the act. The people are very good people. Like, some of them are amazing people. Yeah. But my traditional values as an African male does not align with that.
Does it mean that you're not going to assist with them?
No, I mean, like, as I said, like when in a work environment, you talk to them like, hey, but when it comes to like close friends, like best friends, you have to have your values. That's nothing wrong with having your standards and values as a person. Yeah. So that's just it. But I respect everybody.
It is possible to have a gay as a best friend.
Not me. And some people may find it offensive, but it's not offensive. I'm just like me and I have values. The same way as you cannot find me attracted to be your friend. Yeah. That's cool with me. Sure. Yeah, I don't find that offensive at all. So if you find it offensive, I'm sorry, but that's just me.
Well, I go with the flow.
Yeah, honestly.
If I meet a gay person or whatever, if we communicate, we communicate. I don't necessarily need to tell you that I don't like you. Yeah. Or I like you. But I just go with the flow of the conversation. I'm not judging you. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not saying judge anybody, but I'm just saying that, you know, at the end of the day, know who you are, know what you want, and go after it. Yeah, don't say, oh, because this person is saying this thing, oh, he's wrong. this person is saying this other thing, he's right. At the end of the day, we're just students of life. We're just trying to figure this thing out. So know what you want. And I'm a traditional African man, and I believe in my traditional African values. And that is what I go for.
You can say that again.
I just go for my traditional African values. And I love to reproduce. I need to increase my lead.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing too.
Well,
as an African man, I need that.
It's so funny because some of them actually want to have children, so they have to adopt.
Yeah.
You know, why be in a relationship where you have to bring someone's own child into your own? Yeah. Say you are adopting the children.
Yeah, and it's so like the world today, we're doing a lot of experiment that we don't know the outcome. 2 men raising a child. Like how do you think that child feel? That's crazy.
He grows now. He's what? More masculine.
Yeah, that's crazy, right? Though.
2 women raising a child.
Yeah.
More feminine.
How does that child feel mentally and stuff like that? Like,
that's the issue.
Yeah.
So it's never,
you never know.
Yep.
Never know.
You can never tell.
Yeah. It's so messed up. We've been having a lot of conversation. I don't want to take more of your time. I know it's been great, and it's a wonderful opportunity for some people to hear more about the African culture and the American culture, because sometimes there's a lot of disconnect. We love one another, but we say it differently. It all boils down to that. We love one another because African Americans are so great. One of the most awesome people I've met is an African American. So I really respect you all. And I want to come back to you. I always ask 2 questions before I end the show. So I'm going to ask you these 2 questions. And the first question is this: if there was one experience that you could take away, just minus, delete from all your experiences in life, what would it be? One
experience that I would take away?
Yeah.
Minus all the experiences I've experienced in my life.
Yeah.
I believe the experience is like not trusting everyone.
Why?
Not everyone is to be trusted. But the Bible tells you to love everyone.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, trust.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can love everyone, but don't trust everyone.
Don't trust everyone.
Yeah, because you're going to be betrayed.
Yeah.
And that hurts.
You will never know. You maybe the one you trust is the one who's going to betray you. But I mean, it doesn't stop you from loving the person.
Yeah.
That's why there's one key aspect you mentioned earlier, which is about not hating the person, but hating the act that was committed by the person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good answer, actually. Very good answer. Love everybody, but be mindful of who you trust.
Yeah.
Because trust is a special formula. I believe trust is test over time.
Good.
Like you can build trust in 10 years and it's destroyed in 5 seconds.
5 seconds, yeah.
So you have to really know your character.
Yeah.
That's how trust is accounted for. So then the last question for you is this. If you were to give your younger self an advice, what would it be?
My younger self an advice?
Yeah.
It is never too late to pursue your goals and dreams.
Wow. Yeah, that's a good one. Because sometimes people get 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. As they're about to clock that, they're like, is it possible to do what I wanted to do?
Yeah. Still go back and pursue those goals and dreams.
Yeah, that's true.
Pursue them.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
And is there anything you want to say to my audience before we end the show today?
Where I feel so great and privileged that you provide me this opportunity to share exactly my experiences in this country and to provide light on the things I see happening in my community in the United States of America.
Yeah.
And I believe that you provide more opportunities for the many persons from Africa to come share their experiences like myself.
Yeah,
Thank you so much, Mr. Benrolins.
Thank you very much, Mr. Alexis, for coming to the show today. I really appreciate you. It has been a great one. And hey, guys, there you have it. Unfortunately, this episode just came to an end. And I appreciate you guys for everything you do. If you're new to our channel, please just do us a favor. Like the video. And if you're listening to our audio platforms, just follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio as well. And if you're listening or watching on YouTube, just like the video and click on the subscribe button to be the first person to be notified when we drop any future episode. Please like as well. Please like the video. Some of you watch without liking, and over 60% of our audience are not subscribed to our channel. Please do us a favor, subscribe to the channel. And to our returning viewers, we'll appreciate you for everything you do. Just keep on sharing the episode with your friends and loved ones. We appreciate you and see you in the next episode. Benrolins Blueprint comes to an end. See you in the next episode. Bye-bye.